congratulations. You've topped your group. You're into the knockout stage. Quite emotional right now. We can see how much this means to you, but you must be so happy deep down.
Yeah, I think I'm an emotional creature, if you must call it that. And I think that the questions that we're asking it just triggered that kind of emotion. I mean, it's been a long few weeks away from the family, which is the hard thing. And yeah, I think that just kind of riled up. But I saw the Conor Ben interview as well, and it was looking like it's almost like as if I'm speaking to myself in a sense in the interview. And every time he kind of welled up, I kind of needed to switch off at that point and kind of not listen to the complete interview because, yeah, I know exactly what he went through and what he's going through currently. So, yeah, I'm happy to go top the group. Group E was a tough group. I mean, we had really good players in there, but it just seemed like against me they didn't perform as well as they would hope, and I don't know why that was, but I'm fortunate enough to top the group.
A well below par world champion today, and you took full advantage of that. Do you think him changing his darts has finally caught up with him so much in like mid-game and everything like that?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, a lot of the times we give him much respect because we know the quality of the man on the stage. Even when I went 2-1 up, and you'll see probably, I don't know if like watching the game, I was like just thinking to myself, if I just play my normal game, there's no way he's going to catch me because his dart wasn't flying properly through the air. You could just see he was kind of reaching, stretching. So it wasn't the Peter Wright that we expected, and I think that my game also hampered because of that, because I was expecting him to perform like he normally does. But yeah, I think it's caught up with him, and I don't know if it's all the things that it was like the social media things and the interviews that he's been saying, like Michael's not got any chance and stuff like that. I think those things kind of hamper players that have insecurities or problems with the game. So I don't know if all of those things, but yeah, for now I'm just happy. I'm just happy that I'm on top of the group.
You're talking about that. Have you learned the lessons from the World Grand Prix that you spoke about, that you wouldn't get burnt again?
True. 100%. I mean, I've approached the game quite differently. We'll see very limited celebrations. I knew that what going through the group meant. I knew that going into that game, I was already through. So I just wanted to kind of cement my place, make sure that I get to the top, so that I'm kind of focused on a lot more things than just the Grand Slam, and I think that's just a massive build up to everything else that is kind of in the path of my career currently now.
Now the format goes up, we're into knockout darts. Does the African warrior become a different kind of predator?
In a sense, I feel a lot more comfortable on the stage. I mean, I've been on the stage for a long, like continuously now, and we've been playing darts for the last 3-4 weeks, and I've had some good spells, and I've had some obviously some torrid spells as well. So yeah, I just kind of gather from the positivity, and the game dictates kind of what African warrior comes out. But the most important thing is that I'm focused, and the confidence comes through.
Devon, congratulations again, mate. Well done. Thank you very much.
Yes, Phil, I appreciate that.
Congratulations, Devon, on your third win tonight. It's very fascinating, actually, that the fact that how we're all approaching Devon Petersen these days. A year ago, this would have been, hey, unexpected. But here, this is like, you belong here now. You belong at the elite level. That's stage one. What do you do next? Yeah,
I think today's victory also. It's like when you have the big tree in the jungle and you knock the big tree down, it sends vibrations through the earth and through the jungle. So the Devon Petersen now that you see is quite more composed and more experienced. I think before, like you said, unexpected victory and so on and so forth. But players are now kind of looking at me as a serious player, which I've always taken myself as a serious player. But I think that my game wasn't always out there. But now it's more like the shoes on the other foot in this instance, and I'm relishing the opportunity and the moment. I know that people saying that you ride the crest of the wave and all of those things, but I think it's more than that. It's not even just in form; it's just a new standard that I'm setting for myself and that I'm performing at. So yeah, just get used to it. I still feel as though I got more to give. I still feel that I can compose a lot more. But yeah, at this point in time, I'm enjoying life as Devon Petersen, the African warrior.
It's also interesting that behind the scenes, and I don't intend for you to talk about this, but you've been putting a very interesting backroom together of a team that's around Devon of a huge amount of experience. This has been a year of great growth for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, no doubt. The guys at Darts Talents has been phenomenal. I mean, you got the 180 as well, Mark Dean. That's part of the team. You got Wayne Mardell, Colin Lloyd, Phil Taylor. These are all players that have achieved loads, and just the opportunity to have them at the end of my fingertips if I send a message or need some inspiration or just kind of query about my game or a game or how to approach. I mean, I'm probably in the best position that I've ever been. I have all this experience around me, and yeah, the sky's the limit now, and what I want to achieve, and I think that hopefully my career follows the path of the likes of Phil Taylor, Colin Lloyd, and Wayne Mardell.
Brilliant. Well, listen, thanks for your time, Devon, and well done tonight.
I appreciate that, Phil. Thanks a lot.
Devon, many congratulations on finishing top of the group. Just speaking of the team there, you said you spoke to Phil Taylor this morning. What did he have to say?
Well, a big thing with Phil is he's always saying, I need to rest up, I need to be focused and approach the game like every other game. Make sure that you focus on the 501, not the whole game. But we speak about some intricacies of the game as well. And yeah, that's nothing that I'm going to divulge with you today. But it's I think having that opportunity, I mean, I've idolized Phil Taylor over the years. And once we contacted each other and communicated on a level and created that dialogue, it changed my mental space and the game in which I'm playing now. I mean, with the likes of Phil and Colin and Wayne as well. I mean, those players I've watched on VHS tapes. I mean, that's how young I was when I was watching them. So having that kind of experience around you and the likes of the people at Darts Talents and 180 Mark Dean, I mean, it shows you the influence that the external influence on your career can have a positive effect if you have positive people around you.
Do you think more players should be seeking advice from these top professionals who've been there and done it in the game? Do you think more players should be following your lead?
Not at all. Please stay away from all of those players because they are my kind of mentors, not yours. The thing is like sports, like I watch loads of sports and you look at darts, you look at basketball, look at football, you look at golf, all of these people, they have these kind of mentors and people that they just seek inspiration, that's experience exactly what they're going through. And yeah, I mean, why make the same mistakes they made? I mean, if they can allude to you and kind of advise you on not to make the same mistakes they made, I mean, why not? I think I'm not going to say that I'm leading the charge in changing the way in which the sport's viewed or how the sport is approached. But yeah, I think the likes of with Wayne Mardell coaching and mentorship, I think it is changing the way in which players are looking at the sport.
Just finally, your thoughts on your next opponent, Damon Hesse, because probably like yourself, he's in the best spell of his career at the moment. Yeah,
Damon's always been a great player. I mean, you've seen him win a World Series out from nowhere and then came over here. Boys Cure, talk hard, and now competing, and he's got one title under his belt already. So we know that he's an excellent player and he can shoot for the stars. I mean, we've seen the game against Watamina, but it was a nervy game. It's probably not his best game, but he got through that. So yeah, I'm definitely gearing myself up for a tough encounter, but I'll be ready as well. So yeah, it's going to be fantastic, and like him experiencing this rise up in the rankings. So is Devon Petersen. So it's going to be some fireworks.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Devon, and all the best for the next round.
Cheers, boy.
Dev, you said earlier on that the other players in your group haven't played their best against yourself. Do you think that's something that you've created from what you've achieved this year?
Yeah, it has to have influence. I mean, before players would come up against me and think that, well, if I play my best game, he's not going to beat me. But now, because I'm throwing so many 180s and scoring well and throwing high averages, people see these things. I used to look at it as well. So I know that they're going through the same kind of thing. And sometimes it can just be a flaw in the game itself by doing that. So, yeah, I have a different mental approach to every game that I play. I have a different strategy as well. So, yeah, I think... sometimes it just doesn't happen for you, bad day at the office. But like for Peter now, it was a bad day to have a bad day at the office.
With the 155, were you watching the double 19, or is that something you don't watch?
Yeah, 100%. I knew that the way in which his darts was going, if it landed, it's kind of like his time in a sense. But I knew that the way in which his darts was going through the match, he didn't approach it with confidence. I know that he missed it just slightly, but that's the brilliance of the man. He can pull out a rabbit out of a bag at any point. But I think that if you watch the game itself, I mean, he wasn't the constant Peter Wright that throws like a guaranteed a bunch. Basically, it was like spread around and stuff like that. And I always look at a player's first dart, and if his first dart is really good, then you know he's kind of in form. If he's not, then you kind of have an opportunity. So Yeah, I think Peter Wright's probably upset that he's not gone through and that he's not played his best darts. But if you're changing your darts all the time, I mean, you're only going to get burnt.